Did the stream ever start?
It did, yeah, and then it just stopped.
Well, that's not a good sign. I can't log into YouTube anymore.
Okay, it's back up now.
Is it?
Sim500 Part 2.
Hey, I'll take it. It's gonna do that.
Wow, technical difficulties. Right at the beginning of the show! Welcome, everybody. We already messed this all up.
I don't know what happened, but
Mike Kelly, still top of the board.
McDuff kind of close, and Al Smith Jr. top of the charts now.
Waiting for our last win racer, Brian Hacker, just now coming out on the field.
Coming out on the track, you mean?
Field, it's a field.
Field track, same thing, I guess. No, not really at all.
Very.
Let's see what he can do. Brian Macklin is also out right now. Who's your pick? Brian Macklin or
Hacker.
Brian Hacker?
Brian Hacker, as always. He is such a good driver. He shows great speed at every track we've been to so far. Part of me thinks that he's definitely the one to watch, although qualifying times aren't looking so good right now. Hacker with a 17.934 and Macklin with a 17.641.
I think Al Smith Jr. is going to get the pole this race, honestly.
Oh, Hacker just said a 17.630.
And Macklin not able to better his time. We still have a minute and a half left of qualify before the heat races.
This makes me glad. Good thing I picked the right guy. Hacker never disappoints.
Okay, but I still said Al Smith Jr. He's going to get the pole, so.
Okay, but the question was Hacker versus Macklin, Sean.
Sure.
Sure.
Wow. You're wrong.
That's kind of mean. You don't just need to say that.
Well, I did. And you know what? Let's take a look at the points, shall we? I think it's that time to look at the points, don't you think?
I think every time is a good time to look at the points.
That doesn't make sense, but Brian Hacker is now your points leader. Remember, going into New Smyrna Speedway, they were tied in points, Hacker and Macklin. And
Macklin
now,
had that wreck.
yeah, and he was able to rally back inside the top 10. Wasn't able to get inside the top 5, though. So far, Brian Hacker, 4 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 1 race win so far this season. His worst finish is 3rd.
That's a pretty good worst finish.
Twice. Finished 2nd at South Boston, 3rd at Myrtle Beach, 3rd at Southern National, and 1st at New Smyrna.
As we get ready here for the heat races, it appears we will have 2 heat races. We have a low driver count this week.
Only 14, I'm guessing.
Roundabout.
Al Smith Jr., Schillenberg, Macklin, Scott, Fowler, Scott, and Sweeting is the lineup for heat race number 1. And that is Jerry Scott in the 42, Forrest Scott in the 33.
Pretty excited. I think Al Smith Jr. has it.
Yeah, but I want to see how this outside line works here in race.
Oh yeah,
trim, because I feel like it's gonna be like it's gonna feel like a IRP sort of thing.
exactly. And I mean, my hope is that here soon we get some real serious multi-groove racing, but at the same time,
It's short track racing.
Yeah, we haven't had too much multi-groove racing. It's mainly just been one line.
Yeah.
It's just short track racing.
Okay, Denny Hamlin. Anyways, next week these guys are headed to Stafford. I don't really know much about Stafford, honestly.
I know it's a track.
Yeah, it has 4 turns.
It has 4. I thought it had 3.
No, that's Concord.
Oh, see, I thought it was the Pocono short tracks. All right, looks like we're getting ready to go green here.
Concord is the Pocono short tracks. Pace car is going to pull off of the speedway for the first of many times here tonight. Irwindale Speedway packed house for the racing tonight. Green flag is out. Al Smith Jr. leads us to the green here at Irwindale.
Looks like that 911 car there may get him. That outside groove may be the ideal line. I don't think that inside line is where you want to be.
Slide job by the 95, not able to clear him.
No.
Schillenberg almost clear. And he'll clear him into 1. Macklin trying to clear the 42, making a little bit of contact.
I think we're going to see a lot of contact this race.
Oh yeah, I think we're going to see some
seeing
slide
it already.
jobs. Right now, Schillenberg leads the way.
2 Scots are fighting each other there. Wow, look at Schillenberg.
Kind of showing everyone up right now.
Don't be a shill.
Devin Schillenberg having a really good run so far here in the heat race. Can he get it done?
Brian Macklin there, he's been getting close to that 95. That 95 may fall back again.
We'll see what happens here. Let's go on board the 030 machine as he tries to hunt down your race leaders. Has him on entry, not quite on exit. Loses all the ground he makes up on corner exit.
Yeah, his center doesn't seem to be too good, too. That's where the time starts to get lost, and then he loses more off of exit. He's got a really good entry, though.
Yeah. And Al Smith just set the fastest lap of the session here. It seems like passing is going to be a bit of an issue here. He's not able to get around the 911.
I'm very curious as to how you would pass here. I mean, is it one of those things where you got to have somebody, either push you to pass, or do you just need to bump and run the whole way?
We'll see what happens here. 3 laps to go, 2 to go at the line.
I'll tell you, if you got a bump and run, this would be EJ O'Rourke's playhouse.
I don't even think he was here tonight.
I don't think so either.
Up in the wall, the 95.
In the wall. What's going to happen here with Macklin?
He's going to run higher than the 95.
He's going to try to get him.
Try to get on his outside, not quite able to get there. White flag in the air for Devin Schillenberg to get his first heat win of the season and first heat win of his career. And out of turn 4, it's the 911 leading the field to the checkered flag.
Macklin may have lost a spot there. He got really tight in that center.
We'll see. We've seen him kind of struggle these past few weeks. Let's see what he can do.
Now you've got Mike Kelly starting the Heat 2 here.
Along with Brian Hacker, Justin McDuff, Doug Sigmund,
this is
Lewis Robinette, Joseph Atchinson, and Joey Gattina running out the field.
This is going to be exciting right here.
2 of the hottest drivers in the Race City Sports Memorabilia Sim500 Super Late Model Series at this time right now. Brian Hacker, Mike Kelly, 2-time series champ. And now Brian Hacker and Brian Macklin come to spoil the party this season. I know we have a little while, I should say, until the chase starts, but I mean, in reality, we only have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more races until the chase starts?
Something around that.
I just counted, so yes. But I mean, some of these drivers who are just around the cut line are Forrest Scott, Al Smith Jr., Doug Sigmund, Chuck Sweeting, just to name a few. How do you think these drivers are going to start driving here so they can maybe lock themselves in?
Oh, I can see the aggression going up way higher. Like there's going to be some drivers who are just going to fight the only way they know, and I think it's going to be very aggressive to get into that playoffs. You're going to have to fight your way. Green flag's out.
Let's see what happens. Heat race number 2 is underway. Mike Kelly able to clear Hacker.
Ooh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
3 wide.
3 wide.
That's Justin McDuff. Unexpectedly coming up here. Racing with these drivers. He had some good practice times, I believe. Hacker's going to clear him for second. And for now, it's going to be Kelly, Hacker, McDuff, Sigmund, and Robinette. Your top 5. I think Joseph
Man,
Atchison maybe having some issues. He has a bunch of front end damage on that 88 car.
oh man.
And Joey Gattina's in the pits as well in his 14 car. He has
I wonder if
wrecked.
they got into an issue there.
So now Mike Kelly, fastest lap of the session, 17.63. Coming to 6 to go. Don't think anyone's going to have anything for him, honestly.
Passing here seems to be such an issue. Like, I mean, you're going to have to beat the bumper off of people to pass them. That's the only way that you can do it, it seems like.
We'll see what happens.
Hacker's making time on Kelly, though.
Oh yeah, Hacker just set the fastest lap of the session with a 17.63. We're about half a tenth faster than him.
That's the same as his qualified time, isn't it? Yeah,
I'm not sure.
that's the same as his qualified time.
Slide job by
Whoa.
the 11. Can he clear? Not quite, side by side.
I think he went too low, to be honest.
That's what he did in his qualifying time. Coming to 4 to go. Could Justin McDuff play a factor in the heat win here? Have to see.
Oh, Hacker on the inside there.
Kelly not quite
Slide
getting
job
able to
here.
clear. You can go all the way down to the apron, slide up the racetrack, not able to clear him. Kelly flybys him.
Run. This racing is completely momentum based, and I mean, those slide jobs are going to help as long as you have that momentum to do it. If you don't have the
Yeah.
momentum, you're going to end up right back in the same spot. And that's just the way these tracks work.
We'll see what happens. Mike Kelly leading. White flag is in the air. Kelly looking for his, I believe, second heat win of his career so far.
Hacker making a last-ditch effort here, but it may lose him spots.
Oh, photo finish at the line there. And Kelly's going to get it by 1/100th of a second.
That was close.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We will be right back. Check one, check one. Okay. Oh, it's time for race day, boys and girls.
Let's be honest, there's no girls here.
Okay, you don't gotta be like that, man. Come on. Alright. Devin Schillenberg, Mike Kelly, Al Smith Jr., Brian Hacker, Brian Macklin, Justin McDuff, Doug Sigmund, Forrest Scott, Jerry Scott, Lois Robinette, John Fowler, Joey Gattina, Chuck Sweden, and Joseph Atchison. Your top 14 here tonight, as there's only 14 cars.
I'm glad I helped. I
Devin,
think these first 4 cars here are definitely going to be the ones to watch. But keep in mind, we've also got Macklin next to the 20 there. Like this is going to be an exciting run up front here.
I believe Justin McDuff is making his first career start. He's showing some speed, I will say, showing some good speed, so I think he might be able to contend for this win.
I could see that. I'm going to go with my man Brian Hacker. I mean, there's not much to say. We've seen the speed, worst finish is a top 3. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to be in contention here. It depends on how he makes this track work.
I'm going to go with Mike Kelly, because usually when he starts second, he goes on to win the race.
You have a point. And I also just thought of a downside to Hacker. Hacker, he wants to be respectful and all that. I don't think this track's going to work for that.
Well, we'll see what happens. Pace truck is off of the speedway. Devin Schillenberg, Mike Kelly bringing us to the green flag for the first time here tonight. Green flag is out. We are racing for the 5th time this season.
Oh, 48's tight there. The 3 wide there in the back. Quickly takes it back to 2 wide.
Still 3 wide.
3 wide again.
It's battle for the race lead. Al Smith throwing his car in there, trying to make some ground, not able to do it. He'll fall down to 4th, and Mike Kelly trying to clear the 911 machine. This is close right here.
Whoa, 20 gets into the 95. They wreck. Takes the 33 with them.
And caution is out. Lap 3.
Oh, man, that's 4 or 5 cars at least in that accident.
Mike Kelly.
And some of them are pretty bad.
Mike Kelly had the lead, but Brian Hacker just set the fastest lap that last lap. So let's take a look, see what happened here. Keep an eye on the 20 in the white and blue 95. Slid up in front of him. 20 gets loose. And I think it's time we turn the flip counter on, shall we?
I like the flip counter. Flip counter be cool.
And I think that is the 2nd week in a row the flip counter has been enabled within the first 5 laps of the race.
It seems the worst caution is always up at the front. Or on, like, the beginning of the race, it seems like to me at least.
I get what you're saying. We'll see what happens now, because that's concerning. So let's go ahead, dial up Mike Kelly here. And he is not in a VC, actually, this week. So,
You know who is, though? Brian Hacker.
Let's get him. Hey, Brian, this is Sean and Will up in the booth with VRN. You got us?
I do have a copy. They're talking in the background. It's kind of hard to hear you guys.
All right. Well, currently you are 3rd place, and you'll be starting on the inside this time around. So, what lane do you think has the advantage on restarts?
I think the outside's going to be an advantage on restarts, but you can make a couple different lines work here. I think we just have to be patient, get single file, and maybe try to pick some guys off. So, I feel pretty good. I think we've got some speed. We just got to be patient.
Now, you're coming straight off of a win here, Brian. What's your mindset when you come into a race like this after a win?
Honestly, just try to keep the momentum going. I don't necessarily need to come away with the checker flag tonight, but I'd like to finish podium for sure.
All right. Well, you got anything, John?
Nope. Looks like we're going 1 to green here. So good luck on this restart here, and have fun tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, get ready for the restart. Pace car is off in a hurry. He wasted no time. He is kind of scared for this restart. Let's see what happens here. Mike Kelly chose the outside lane. No, Mike Kelly's ready for this one. Here he goes. Turn 4, green flag is out. Great jump for the 2 machine.
Oh, they're already bunching up here. Nope, they're trying to get single file. The 11's kind of left out astray, but he may be able to clear. He cleared.
Macklin tossing his machine down to the bottom. Not
Oh,
gonna.
I don't like that.
There's no hole for him to go into.
That's how people are going to wreck, by doing that real early.
Eh.
Did you not see what almost happened there with the 030 and the 42?
He's not gonna wreck anyone.
I'm not saying he's going to wreck anyone, but look.
Ooh, 42 getting loose on corner
I
exit
told
there.
you. I told you.
That was him getting loose though. See, there's a difference.
Look.
Looks like he's gonna file in here.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, we still got a long way to go. Brian Hacker, fastest lap of the race, 17.62. Running good right now, trying to keep the streak of top 3 finishes, 4 top 3 finishes in the first 4 races. His average finish is probably like 2.75 or something, I think.
Somewhere around that. I mean, he's
2.25.
doing really good. And he's getting that momentum, too, that he was just talking to us about. Like, he's got the time.
Yeah. Gap staying about 0.3 of a second between Mike Kelly and Devin Schillenberg. Schillenberg fastest lap there. And I think these are the first laps Mike Kelly has led all season long.
That's pretty cool. I mean, considering that's actually kind of shocking though, considering that he's the defending series champion.
I mean, his worst finish is 16th at Myrtle Beach, and outside of that, it's been nothing but top 5s for the number 2 Valvoline Chevrolet.
We should also bring up though, at Myrtle Beach, he ended up getting in a wreck.
Yeah, but hey, for the past 3 straight races, he started 7th each race.
Yeah.
I don't know, just some things to think about, you know? And every single race that he won last season, some of you people who are watching race might remember this, but every race he won, he started 2nd in. I don't know why it was like that, but it was.
Everyone seems a little bit spread out now, besides these top 3 here.
And it looks like, believe this or not, but Mike Kelly has not won a race since February, so he's trying to make up a pretty long winless streak up right now.
I mean, I wouldn't start talking about the win yet, because the 911 and the 11, they are getting on the bumper of Mike Kelly here.
Oh yeah, for sure, but we'll have to see who can save their equipment the best. I mean, you don't have any extra set of tires.
Ooh. I think Mike Kelly is starting to feel the pressure, and he may be overrunning his stuff just a little bit.
Well, we'll have to see what happens within the next 20 laps or so. And I mean, they're still going faster and faster.
Whoa, they are.
Top 3 pulled away from the rest of the field, though.
They're getting almost bumper to bumper up here in the front. That's scary, because one tap could cause a spin, no problem.
Yeah, Brian Macklin now on the inside of the 95 for 4th.
Third. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Wrong person.
Do you think Macklin would be able to catch up to those top 3?
I'm not sure, because as we've seen, passing here is really difficult. He'd have to get a good pass just to get around the 95, not to mention trying to get up to the 3 leaders.
I think he knows that he's faster than 95 and is trying his best to get around him, but the passing is just non-existent here.
Yeah. It seems like you're kind of locked into wherever you are. You really got to make the restarts here count.
Yeah.
But even then, we haven't had a restart for a little bit.
Since lap 4. Well, lap 4 is when the caution came out, sorry. Kelly pulled away a little bit there on the exit. Any bit of time he can get away from these guys is definitely going to help him. Trouble in the back.
Oh, I see a car on the wall.
I think that was
No
Brian
caution
Macklin.
yet.
No caution. No one really spun, but I had noticed on the SDK timing board that every bunch of cars just lost a bunch of time. It was Brian Macklin and Al Smith Jr. So Macklin now has more spots to gain. And look at this. Hacker kind of falling back a bit. Do you think he's kind of easing off a bit, giving these two room?
He might be, especially seeing how passing works here. He may just be waiting for people to use up their stuff.
I think that's what he's doing, and trying to give himself time to react in case they do react or do crash. Sorry.
Man, the 911, the 2, and the 11, they just keep getting bumper to bumper. I've seen the 11 almost ram into the rear end of the 911 a few times.
Yeah, we're nose cam right
Oh,
on.
there we go. They just made contact.
Yeah, we just got a whole load of fuel cell on the broadcast here. We're running on board the number 11 machine. Coming up on 70 laps to go.
I wonder how long it'll take until people just get antsy from not being able to pass.
I don't know. It depends
I
on
mean,
what kind of driver they are.
exactly. Like, I mean, I don't expect to see it with Hacker, but you know, maybe Macklin or even this 911 ahead of us.
We'll see. Already coming up on lap traffic, but this track is so wide. It's like they're not even an issue.
Not a big deal. Which sucks because you can't use that to your advantage like you would at a smaller track.
Like at Martinsville, for example.
I
Lap
just can't
traffic
figure
on
out how you would
everything.
pass here.
Send it into turn. Ride the wall.
You're either gonna have to send it in the turn or you're gonna have to bump and run.
I have to see what happens. And we heard Hacker said he'd be happy with another top 3 finish. He doesn't need to get the win. Just extending his points lead. It's not necessarily everything because there is a playoffs, but having that security to know you're pretty much locked in is always a good thing to have.
Oh, of course.
Even though we all know Hacker's most likely going to make the playoffs.
I hope he does, but let's look on how it's going right now with Hacker. Look at this.
Slide job for second, and Kelly pulled away by almost half a second now.
This is getting scarily close because they are. I think Hacker is getting a little anxious. I think he wants that second place.
I think the 911 car has fallen off a bit. Slide job, he's clear. 911 gonna do the same thing now. Not quite.
I don't think he's gonna make it work though. He's gonna get on him though. He's gonna try to stop him.
Hacker has second. Half a second gap between 2 and the 11.
This is what Mike Kelly wants to see though. He wants them to fight so he can go.
Yeah, he has nice open track ahead of him.
Well, except for the slap car in his way.
Well, that's about it. But other than that, nothing to really worry about. He doesn't have a mirror full of the 911 car.
No. But I think if I was playing this strategically, I would just keep trying to work with that 911 car because it's one of those things where you're just going to lose time if you're fighting.
Looks like some right side damage on the number 2 car, maybe. No, never mind. Just the way the reflection was. Gap still staying about the same. Actually, I take that back. Hacker just gained a bunch of time in turn 2.
Hacker is a force to be reckoned with. Look at that.
He definitely has this track down, that's for sure. But passing?
He's learning it. But I think passing is difficult for even the best of people.
Yeah. Unless you toss it into the corner, way down on the bottom, slide up.
Kind of like Hacker was doing with that 911 car.
Yeah. That's the only way he was able to get around him, really. Now,
Hacker just sent it hoping it would stick, and it happened to stick. So I think he knows how to pass now. Which that's the thing not a lot of other people seem to know yet.
You do have to remember, tires are gonna not like you after you do that
Oh
one too
no,
many
but
times.
at the same time, look, that 911 car is losing them. So I think in Hacker's case, that was good. That was a good idea to send it
Yeah,
in.
for
Looking at
sure.
how that 911 car's falling back, he was just holding them up.
Four-way battle back here. This is gonna be good. With the 42, 57, 030, and the 95, they single it out for now.
Oh wow,
Look at
that's
Macklin.
scary.
These guys nose on the outside, not quite.
Uh-oh.
Al Smith sending it in, not able to clear. Jerry Scott having a great run right now in that 42 machine, I will say. Same with Chuck
I mean,
Sweeney.
everyone's trying to pass everybody behind him. I mean, oh, that's
It's...
scary. That is scary. That 33 blinked right in front of that 57.
Oh,
I thought that was
jeez.
going to be a big wreck.
Hood Brown. Back up front. Hacker has reeled in the number 2, Mike Kelly.
How long do you think it'll be till he tries to take a pass?
I'd give it about 10, 20 more laps.
Oh, that got scary. I thought he was going to give him the bumper there.
No, we're still over. Well, we're just about halfway home. I wouldn't want to give him the bumper yet.
No, but just looking at the way the camera looked, I thought he was about to give him the bumper and just go.
Well, we'll see here. Mike Kelly keeping it strong right now. He has led most of the race so far here tonight.
I think Hacker may have found the line. They're maybe everyone's running the wrong line because Hacker's making a lot of time running a little bit of a different line.
He's
And I
running
think,
higher on entry, lower on exit.
yeah, and I think Mike Kelly's trying to copy that same thing.
Just not quite able to.
Oh, no way. That was scary though. I don't like that.
If Mike Kelly is watching, you gotta enter just a bit higher to really match Hacker and his line.
Mike Kelly is watching. Hi, Mike Kelly. Don't mess up.
Coming up on halfway here shortly. Battle for the lead. I feel like this is going to be a great finish here tonight at Irwindale.
I think the way that we're going to see this track going, it's going to be extremely exciting. Like, this is a track to where if you want to make sure you pass, you got to give them the bumper. That's
Yeah.
the only way you can successfully, almost 100% of the time, get a pass.
Well, I wouldn't say 100% because we've seen the slide job work before. But
Well, no,
just,
I'm meaning like you give them the bumper, you're basically guaranteed the pass.
oh yeah,
That's
if you
what I'm
just
meaning.
straight up wreck them, yeah.
Well, that's not wrecking them. That's called bump and run, sir.
Yeah.
That's, oh my
And-
God.
Is that what you meant?
Well, no, but I'm sure Mike Kelly's going to be pissed off about that one.
Well, we'll
I will
see.
be.
He gave a huge shove to the 11 car.
Well, I mean, that was not really avoidable.
And now Kelly tried to copy and paste what the 11 car was doing, not able to do it.
He didn't go low enough. You've got to get on that apron if you're going to do that. That's how the 11's doing it.
Yeah, let's go on board the number 2 car. Look at how easily Hacker pulls away on exit.
Hacker's just got it down.
He does.
Look at that, dude. Wow.
He's running about half a tenth faster than Mike Kelly.
I mean, Kelly's got him on entry, but Hacker's got him severely on exit.
Yeah. Devin Schillenberg hasn't really fell back too far. The gap has pretty much stayed the same. And as I say that, loses a bunch of time on Hacker. Honestly, with the way things are right now, I don't think we'll see another caution.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I see someone getting upset with somebody else and it becoming an issue.
Well, we'll see what happens. Over halfway into the race here tonight. Brian Hacker, Mike Kelly 1-2, Devin Schillenberg 3rd, with Brian Macklin and Al Smith Jr. rounding out your top 5. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but don't leave yet, folks. We still have 43 laps to go here at Irwindale. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Virtual Racing Network, home of the Sim500 Race City Sports Memorabilia Super Late Model Series. Oh man, I need to go to bed. We are on lap 65 of 100 scheduled race laps, and Mike Kelly gaining some ground.
Only for a little bit, though. I think Hacker lost time, though, because that lap car there was right in front of him throughout the turn.
Doug Sigmund maybe giving them some issues. Oh, I think Mike Kelly figured out his exits, but lost all of his entry speed.
Yeah, that's not what you want when you're fighting with someone like Hacker, who seems to have both speed.
Yeah, he has it all, dude.
He has it set up.
Another three-way battle back here.
Could Brian Hacker break the different winner for every race? A rookie, nonetheless.
And not just in this individual Sim500 series, in Sim500 in its entirety.
In general, he has not raced here before. This is his first series racing here.
Uh-huh. I don't know if he's ran in other series.
I mean, I would have to guess so with the way that he's racing now. I would have to guess so.
Well, yeah, but
and
like
I believe he's on a race team.
Yeah, but I'm saying like not Sim500.
Well, yeah. 33's back out from the pits. Scary, but realistic.
Nope, he is only running in the Super Late Model Series for Sim500.
Oh, jeez.
Seems to me he is pretty good at these short tracks. Looking at his overall like career lifetime stats, he has a lot of races in street stocks, on short tracks, and dirt tracks.
Yeah, I have a whole notebook just about Brian Hacker.
I mean, his racing stats go all the way back to probably 2017, yeah. ARCA cars, late models, super late models. This guy has a lot of stats under his belt. He has 46 career league wins that are registered in Sim Racer Hub. He's led over 5,000 laps. And Brian Macklin back inside the top 3.
Awesome. I think Schillenberg may have used his stuff up pretty quick, and he's starting to fall back
I
now.
think so too, yeah. And also, for Brian Hacker, in 365 starts, his average finish is 7.61.
He's a pretty high caliber driver, and I can tell you Sim500 is glad to have him here.
For sure. Gap hasn't really changed between the 11 and the 2, coming up on 25 to go this time around. I wonder what Brian Hacker is thinking right now. Like,
Well, let's bring him up in the booth as he's racing and distract him.
no, that's a great idea. Let's do it now.
No.
But I mean, to come to such a prestigious league and have a lot of success right out at the gate, I mean, that is
That's
awesome.
that's one of those like dream come true moments.
Yeah. It's like jumping straight up to the Cup Series and having a Kyle Larson 2021 season.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that's what
Also,
he's doing right now.
33 is getting on the bumper of the 2, it appears, but he keeps blinking everywhere. It's kind of scary. Oh, he may have fallen back now. Yeah. Seemed like he was going to try to race the 2 there for a minute. I wasn't quite sure what he was thinking.
Don't look now, but Brian Macklin is gaining about 10th or so per lap, maybe even more.
Is that going to be enough to get him up there?
In 22 laps, I'm gonna have to say no.
Yeah, I think the time's run out for that.
Yeah, I mean,
Although,
he
of course,
is.
he might be able to do it, but
I don't know. Because remember, we've talked about this a lot of time, a lot during the show here, that passing's a huge issue.
You have a point.
So we shall see.
Plus, not to mention, there's a lap car between the 2 and the 030. So he'd have to pass the lap car to have any chance. Yeah, I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, now he's starting to lose ground now. Mike Kelly keeping it steady, keeping it within a second of the 11 machine with 20 to go.
Oh, I think he's losing some good ground there. Oh, he lost a ton of ground that turn.
The 2 or the 030?
The 2.
Yeah, that time's probably gonna go over a second by the time we're done with this race. But Brian Hacker has only led 100 laps, and that was all last week at New Smyrna.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, he's consistent, like we mentioned before. This will probably put his average finish up to like 2 flat.
This is the type of driver right here every team owner wants. Someone who is extremely fast and extremely consistent. This is the perfect combination right here.
Oh, yeah. Brian Macklin, he is also one of those good, consistent drivers, but I mean, too bad. Well, he's not having a bad week right now, just not the typical Brian Macklin we're used to seeing, where he's running up front, leading a bunch of laps. I mean, ever since last week, I feel like he's just been sort of off. Well, ever since his win, really. The first week of the
remember, yeah, he won the first race of the season, and then as the races went on, we started seeing Macklin going from a dominating force to someone that was kind of holding up the rest of the line.
And I don't know. I mean, he still has 4 top 10s in the first 4 races, but his worst finish is 8th. But so far, it looks like he's going to be able to come home with a 3rd place finish so far, maybe. But that 911 car might be gaining on him. No, never mind. Thought he was for a second, but maybe just a little bit. The gap between them is about 0.8 of a second. But the 911 machine loses all of his time on exit.
And that's not where you want to lose time. We've seen that mess up a lot of drivers. That
Yeah.
exit seems to be the most crucial part of the turn. And that's honestly, that's probably why you keep seeing Mike Kelly kind of going back and back and back. is his exit isn't what it was at the start of the race.
Now, what do you think is caused? His tires, or do you think it's how he's running the race, running the track?
I think it's a mixture of both.
I feel like the line has changed, and it's
His
just
line
barely
has
noticeable.
changed. You can see what Hacker's doing is he's getting his left side tires below that white line near center to exit. Mike Kelly is barely doing that anymore.
I don't know. 10 laps to go here at Irwindale. And I just realized that
And
then says New Smyrna.
wow, I'm glad we waited all race to change that.
Yeah. I thought I did change it, but I guess it reset when I accidentally closed it. Okay, I see how it is.
Yeah, Mike Kelly's line is not what it was. Hacker's still running his same line. In fact, he just went all the way below that white line on the top line. Mike Kelly, he's staying up close to the wall, and I don't think that's where
Yeah.
you're going to gain the speed.
Now, unless something happens to the 11 car on the final lap, where he gets involved in an incident or something, don't think that that the whole Mike Kelly starting second and he goes on to win the race will be a thing anymore.
Sean spawns a car and kills Hacker.
Whoopsie daisy. No,
Whoopsie daisy.
I didn't mean to put that there. Everyone's really spread out on track, so I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, we're definitely not going to see a caution anymore.
No. I think Hacker's got this one in the bag at this point unless something happens.
Yeah, like a brick.
And looking at Hacker's time, or not times, but the way he's running the track, I think he knows that because he's not running it extremely aggressive anymore. He's kind of like,
I
I mean,
mean,
he's not strolling, but he's not like pushing the car that much
yeah.
anymore.
I mean, if you're a crew chief, you know, if you
Yeah.
have a 2-second gap with 4 laps to go, what would you be telling your driver? You wouldn't be telling him to push, push, push.
Just maintain
Yeah, you don't
gap.
want him to push too much and make a
Because
mistake.
if you push too hard, you're more worried about making your time good versus keeping the car clean. And last thing he needs is to be pushing and then get into the wall and lose that entire gap.
Now, what about the 95? You know, he's right on the back bumper of the 911. He can get one more extra spot, get some more points. Do you
I'd
think
be
it's
saying, give
worth
it all
making
you
a
got.
move?
You got 2 to go. Do what you need to do to get that position. Because, I mean, he may need that position points wise.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when it comes down to points, you're telling your driver, hey, we got to do this.
White flag in the air. One more lap to go for Brian Hacker to score his second career win. And it looks like no cars will spawn in front of him down the backstretch and into turn 3 and 4. Hacker wins it after a pretty good race here at Irwindale.
I like to see that. 2 in a row there. 2 in a row for the rookie.
2 in the row. Mike Kelly comes in second. Brian Macklin rallies his way back up after a lot of adversity here tonight for a top 3 finish. Good for him. Win number 2 for the young career Brian Hacker. Burning it down.
I don't think he even did a burnout at the last race. Yeah, the last race he didn't do a burnout.
Now he's going to drift 3 and 4. It's like, watch this. Look what I can do.
I think Hacker is getting pretty comfortable now because, like I said, last race he didn't seem very. He's not going to wreck the car.
That never happened.
Brian, you got a little bit too comfortable, man.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Wait for everyone to get in the waiting room. Man. All right, let's talk to your runner-up finisher, Mike Kelly. Hey, Mike, Sean and Will up in the booth with VRN. You got us?
I got you.
Well, you picked to win here tonight because you started second. Did you think you're going to be able to win the race here tonight?
Well, yes and no. I was lucky to qualify well and get a heat win to get me in position. And I got myself in position and I held on to it for about half the race. And then Brian got around me. I could tell, I think Devin was probably a little faster too, but I held him off long enough to make him burn up his right front tire. And then Brian got around me. I tried to just stay with him and hope that he'd wear out at the end, but he actually got stronger at the end. So, all in all, good run. It's always nice to get a podium with this group of guys, even though it was a small group. There's a lot of fast guys in there. So, good race, no yellows. I'm worn out.
Well, you had a pretty
Oh,
good points day, too.
Yep, that's always on the top of the priority list.
now I know you and Brian, once he did that kind of slide job on you, you guys had some pretty serious contact there. What was your thoughts when that happened? Because I know sometimes drivers they'll get like mad in the heat of the moment. What were you thinking?
Oh, sometimes, I actually, the reason I hit him like that was because actually when he tried it before a few laps earlier and he didn't make it, I jokingly said on the radio, if that was the last lap, you probably could have bashed me out of the way for the win there. So I just kind of, I really wasn't expecting it. He was coming up and I thought he was just going to leave the lane open again, but he had me cleared, but I didn't really lift at all. And when he came up, I smacked him in the rear end there pretty good. But he was, he was faster, and I kind of figured he was faster. I threw it back at him and tried to get back around him and couldn't do it. So no harm.
All right, well, Sean, you got anything?
Yep, I mean, you had a great run. Next week we are heading to, I just had it. It's a weird, Stafford, that's right. Do you think you'll be
Yeah,
able
that's
to get another good finish there?
well. These two tracks here, Irwindale and Stafford. I've been in iRacing here since it began, and both of those tracks are pretty original tracks that had a lot of racing on them with the late models and the modifieds back in the day, just in the regular weekly iRacing open server stuff. So I got a lot of laps there. It's going to be tough to pass there as well, like it was here. So track position and qualifying well and running good in the heat's going to be important. It's a tight little tough technical track.
All right, well, your final question for me, at least. You're still in the title hunt for now, still top three points, but do you think you'll feel like this has kind of eluded you for a while now? It's been a while since you've gotten a win, so do you think you'll be able to get one this season?
Maybe there's some hot guns here. So I never expected to get a lot of wins in this series. I just do what I always do, which is try to stay up front, stay in the top five, finish well every week, and see what happens at the end of the year. They're not doing any kind of chase or bonus points or any of that kind of stuff. So might be able to have a shot at the championship even without winning a race. But I hope to get one or two by the end of the season. Got a couple good tracks coming up.
All right, well, is there any shout outs or thanks you'd like to give out to anyone? Uh,
The silence is deafening.
Yeah, I
you
got to
there?
dig at him when he's not here, right? I mean, But yeah, thanks for everything, guys. It's always fun, and glad to talk to you tonight, and hope to talk to you again next week.
All right.
And as always,
Oh,
thanks to my smoking hot wife.
all right. Well, you have a good rest of your week, Mike, and good luck next week at Stafford.
Thanks, man. We'll see you there.
I know that's his line, but I think that's the first time I've heard him say it.
Well, I think this is the first time we've interviewed him this season, sadly. All right, let's get Brian Hacker up in here. Hey, Brian, Sean and Will up in the booth with VRN. You got us?
I got you guys.
Well, came home first place here tonight. You threw a slider on Kelly with about half of the race left to go. Did you think you were going to be able to hold on to the lead for the rest of the race then?
That was kind of the plan. I wanted to see how it went for a little while. We got spaced out there a little bit, and it felt like it was going to be a long green flag to the finish. And I thought if I could get in front, I might be able to kind of control the pace the rest of the way. And that was the idea. You know, I talked to Mike after the race there. I said, it's really difficult to pass here without, dooring somebody into the wall. So I was trying to do it without
Yeah.
any contact, and I think I got in front of him, but I don't know if he was expecting me to fully come up, and we got together a little bit. But I think in the end, no harm, no foul. I kind of did what I had to do to get the lead, and then we just kind of pulled away from there.
So Brian, 2 in a row, 2 in a row for wins in your rookie season in the Sim 500. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. I like these cars a lot. The whole reason I'm running is to get more seat time in these cars specifically, and I think I'm learning a little bit. There's good competition out here, but I'm having a blast running these things on Tuesdays. Typically, I don't remember the last time I ran a league on Tuesdays. Normally, it's an off night for me, and right now it's the only league I'm running. A bunch of mine are in summer breaks, so it's fun. It's the only thing I'm doing basically on a weekly basis, but it's a lot of fun to come out here and race with these guys.
All right, well, Sean, you got anything?
Nope. And well, yeah, I guess I do. Extending your points lead for further, and next week head into Stafford. Think you'll be able to get another good run there?
Stafford's one of my favorite tracks. If I don't botch it in qualifying like I did tonight, I think we've got a pretty good shot next week at Stafford too. It's a track that suits my driving style well. I'm not actually all that great at Irwindale here. I think I was just able to figure out how to rotate the corners a little bit better than some of the other guys tonight. If we can do that again next week, I think we'll be in good shape.
All right. Well, Brian, are there any shout outs or thanks you'd like to give out to anyone here?
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of my buddies that came out. So Al Smith, who set fast time by a wide margin, blazing lap, and Justin McDuff, who made his first appearance of the season, had a kind of a rough luck go of it in the feature, but happy to see those guys come out. Thanks to John and everybody that puts this on at Sim500. Thanks to all the sponsors involved that get this thing going and off the ground, and thanks to my sponsors, Pathfinder Chassis, Carbon Junction, Narrative Coffee, and my teammates at Empire Racing Team. And last but not least, I want to make sure that I don't thank Wayne McDuff because he does not deserve it.
Okay. Brian, you have a good rest of your week, dude, and hopefully you get another top three finish next week at Stafford.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you there.
All right, well, that's going to basically conclude tonight's broadcast. I just want to point out one thing. Brian did say he thinks he was able to figure out the track a lot faster than everyone else, and I definitely do believe that.
I I believe that 100%. I think the way, I mean, so as you saw with looking through his stats, he does dirt racing stuff as well as
Hmm.
asphalt. In dirt, you got to learn that stuff quick. It's like you got to snap and learn it immediately.
The tr
And I think that's where he gets it from.
Yeah, and it's not just because it's dirt. The track changes every
Yeah.
single lap. From wherever the slick stuff is to where the more moist stuff is, you gotta find that perfect line where you have enough grip to actually run fast, consistent lap times.
Not to mention in real life dirt racing, you've got 3 laps before the feature, somewhere around that. A very short amount of laps. You got to learn it quick.
Yeah, you only have, I think you have like a few laps during hot laps to figure it out, and then feature, which is anywhere between 8 to 10 laps, depending on what track you're at.
Yeah,
And then even then, during the feature, the track is going to change just like that.
exactly.
Like the flip of a switch. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Thank you all for joining me here tonight. Thank you, Race City Sports Memorabilia, for hopping on to sponsor Sim500 and the Super Late Model Series. We'll see you guys next week at Stafford.